everybody. 7 o'clock, part of the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference going down September 2nd at Ellis Island. Oh my gosh, the front yard. It's going to be a spectacle. We should have 24 pages out this year. Hopefully, you guys can tune in and make it. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. Brother Fox, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. Always blessed.
Nice. I'd like to give a shout out to the Fantasy Shot Callers page, as well as the Melon app. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do so well. Brother Fox, how can the good folks take care of us?
Hey, you guys can always give us that HBO special. If you don't know by now, the HBO special is the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It goes a long way, and we truly appreciate it.
There it is. Our brother Big E could not make it. Unfortunately, he had to work a double, if not a triple shift. Take it easy on the brother.
We all know the truth. He got spooked.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good draft, so hey, he retreated. That's all that was.
Oh, why you
typical Raider fan, you know?
Hey, it's not even preseason football. Hey, take it easy.
It's AFC West. Hate.
I heard that. So we thought about draft wasn't too long ago. We did the mock draft last week. Thought we would talk about biggest winners and losers in fantasy realm. We both created a list. I'm curious to see how many people ended up on the same list. I'll let you go first. Do you want to go winner or loser?
Let's start with let me see here. I'm gonna start on the losers list.
Mm-hmm.
I feel obviously Tyler Algier from the Falcons, number one loser. Bijan Robinson is going to come in regardless. You don't pick somebody that high to split carries. You don't pick somebody that high to take away touchdowns from them, and then in the red zone. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance it's probably going to be an 80-20 split, if that. Who knows? Even if Algier is going to be used even in a third down instance, He better be good at special teams if he's trying to make this squad. He better figure it out. Hey, he better talk to his wife about changing teams or something. Hey, something got to give.
Yeah, I hated the pick for the Falcons, but for fantasy purposes, they spent the capital. Arthur Smith, former offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, helped Derrick Henry get to 1,000 yards. He's going to feed Robinson. I could easily see upwards north of like 375 touches. Najee Harris had over 400 his rookie year. I wouldn't be surprised if Bijan isn't too far off.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, again, like for draft purposes, I don't believe in drafting running backs in the first round. Just strictly from a production perspective. But at the same time, if Bijan had gotten past him, he would have gone to the Eagles, and that might have been dangerous for the entire league. So, thank you, Falcons, for saving us all from a three-peat from the Eagles.
Yeah, I heard that. Mm-hmm. For me, this one, the draft pick, I hated it, and for fantasy purposes, I hate it. Kenneth Walker.
Okay.
Stellar back. I know he started the season a little banged up, and then he did miss a game or two in the middle of the season. But for Seattle to spend that capital, to go back-to-back years and take a running back in the second round, I can't touch him. I can't touch him.
We talked about it on air last week. Mm-hmm. It's the Seattle running backs. It's been a rotation of injured running backs from Perry to
cursed.
It is a curse, and maybe they've leaned into it. Maybe they're like, "Hey, we might need a backup already," Yeah. But you don't waste the capital of a second round draft pick if the player isn't going to play. That high in the draft, you can't risk, a bad pick. So they are kind of very different running backs. Mm-hmm. The kid from UCLA, he's more of a burner. He can fly. So we'll see how they're utilized. I still think Kenneth Walker still has his value because he's going to get those end zone, opportunities kind of thing and those third downs. But we'll see. We'll see.
I feel it. Do you got another one for us?
I guess a draft winner that I love I know I'm kind of, I'm partial to this, but Isaiah Pacheco. Hell, I took him in our draft last week for the our mock draft Monday. I feel like he was a big winner. I truthfully didn't know how the Kansas City Chiefs were going to approach this draft. Everyone, all the mock drafts had us trading up, trying to get a sexy pick, either get a left tackle or go after a Zay Flowers. But in the back of my mind, I was scared. I was scared thinking that they were going to potentially replace Pacheco with a more of a blue chip kind of running back. And I feel we've already made that mistake with with CEH, and I didn't want to see us go down that same road again. So I feel like Isaiah was a big winner coming out of the draft. The fact that he now has that position solidified, and the fact that he won't be splitting carries with CEH. I don't even know how they're going to utilize CEH once this upcoming year starts, but I feel like he's a gigantic winner coming out of this draft.
No, I like that one. I like that one a lot. I mean, you're part of the number one offense in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You're going to be behind, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, so he's going to be good no matter what. One of my favorites was one of your rivals, the Chargers pick. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen is is a little, as I say, a little long in the tooth. Mm-hmm. I'm big on Herbert. He had a bad season last year, or just he didn't live up to expectations. True. And they've got a new scheme out there. I think Justin Herbert is a sneaky pick and may live up to the expectations that were set for him last year.
Hey, as I said last year, the Chargers going Charger. And I was actually kind of sad when they fired all their equipment staff people over this offseason, because for years the Chargers had it doesn't matter who they drafted, they were bound to get hurt. And NFL Mike can attest to this, that every year they put out a good product in the offseason, and they're paper champions, always paper champions. Now when it comes to Quentin, I saw Steve Smith did a full breakdown of all the wide receivers coming into this draft.
Shout out Steve Smith.
Yes, Steve Smith Sr., former Carolina Panther and Baltimore Raven. He did and obviously being as he's previously played the position, I hold what he said to a very high accord, and he was very, very harsh on Quentin Johnson, and what his evaluation was he said that he will constantly disappoint you throughout his career. And what he meant by that is, he said he shows flashes of brilliance where, he has the speed, the size. And he said, if you looked at him, he looks like the prototype of what you'd want from a receiver. He's like, but the man doesn't catch with his hands. He catches with his chest, and he doesn't necessarily have that breakaway speed where he's burning everybody. And you can't really do that all the time in the NFL. You have to hone in on your craft. And with that said, it said he doesn't run great routes. He doesn't high point the ball. Okay. He lets it come to his chest. And all of those are frequent contributing factors to someone who underperforms at the receiver position. And I think he's going to benefit from the fact that he is the third wide receiver in that offense.
Right.
Sure. And it's, between Mike Williams and the other receiver, Keenan Allen. One of them, they're going to be hurt. Hey, they blue 10 boys. They're going to be hurt. So he's got to get that tick.
Powder blue.
Yeah, powder blue, baby. But I wonder what kind of production they're going to receive out of him. I root for you guys to take him. I'm rooting for y'all, because I don't think it's going to work out. But hey, I'm just a Chief fan and I'm a hater, I guess.
Gotcha. Winner or loser? Who you got next?
Loser. Dawson Knox.
Oh,
tight end from
first round capital.
Exactly. When the team invests first round capital when they're in a position, you're being replaced. It's not if, it's when. It's only a matter of time before Dalton Kincaid gets the majority of the snaps. And we said this last year when we were talking about our top 10 tight ends, and we broke down why is Dawson Knox not a, he was a fringe tight end on our top 10. All of us had him between 10 and 13, kind of honorable mention kind of thing. And with that offense and with the amount of opportunities he would have to catch the ball, we're like, how is that happening? And it comes down to that athletic matrix, like he's not that fast. He doesn't run that good of routes. And he's an average pass blocker. With Dalton Kincaid, sure, he's an average pass blocker, but he does have the ability in the route running to be an elite pass catcher. So, I feel that he could be a perfect fit for their offense.
For those that haven't seen his game, who would you compare it to? What tight end, current or old?
He reminds. Good question. Let me see. I would say he's kind of a poor man's Jeremy Shockey.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not as intense as Jeremy Shockey, but he has the pass catching ability and the athletic ability to actually cut it upfield. He's he ain't got that. He ain't a dog like Shockey was, but yeah,
that might be a good thing.
Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely talented.
Nice. Well, another loser I had was Tyler Lockett, another Seahawk.
Talk about it.
I didn't like the pick, and and with that, I don't know what the Seahawks are doing. I don't know if they were going like best player available instead of like addressing needs, because like they made the sexy picks. They got the corner, they got the receiver, they got the running back, but it's like they didn't need like a strong number 2 corner or a third receiver. Like you're spending first round capital on your third receiver and a backup second round capital on a backup running back. So it was crazy. But Tyler Lockett, a lot of people don't know, he, depending on settings, he was wide receiver 11, wide receiver 12. And he had a good year. Obviously, he was finished where he finished. And I feel like the rookie's going to cut into his, because they're paying DK. He's the older guy. I still expect him to eat, but seeing him at his current ADP going in the 5th round, I can't invest that. I can't go off of last year's production after the draft.
Okay. Now it's Smith and Jigba. He's interesting because I felt that I felt he was clearly the best receiver. Not this year, not with Harrison Jr. on the Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, but last year. But last year at Ohio State when they had Olave and they had the other kid, Garrett Wilson. Like he was clearly the best receiver out of those bunch. Albeit he was in the slot the majority of the time. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the best route runner, but this man was constantly open. And sometimes you can't really teach that. It's he has that knack of getting open, similar to Justin Jefferson. Now, I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson understands the field in the sense that he understands the pockets of where he can get open. And I feel you're going to get similar kind of production from Smith and Jigba. Now, is Geno Smith going to be able to hit him in those pockets? Probably not. But I feel that Seattle I feel like they're ticking in the right direction. Sure, they did take a lot of sexy picks, DBs and receivers to get the fans hype, sell some jerseys because they Lockett, like you said, long in the tooth. He ain't gonna be there too much longer. So I think they're preparing for that future. But I think Smith and Jigba's a talented kid, but I give it to you. Yeah, Lockett's production is gonna definitely take a hit for sure.
Yeah, you got a winner for us?
Let's see. Another winner. Let's see. Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
The Patriots have been almost notorious now for taking running backs when they don't need another running back. When a running back would have a breakout year, the Patriots would steal 2nd, 3rd round, 4th, take a running back. Hell, they might even take 2.
Right.
And they would always have this convoluted backfield. And, being as Harris left in the offseason, you would think they're really only left with Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
And I think everyone assumed at some point the Patriots were going to take a running back. And the fact that they have not, it speaks volumes. Maybe maybe they're trying to invest in a single back system. I doubt it. I think somebody else is going to come out of nowhere from that running back. But I still think he was a big winner. The fact that at least they're investing that playing time in him.
He's got a competent backup in James Robinson, former Jag. I think he did a little stint in with the Jets. Talented guy. I don't think he's going to eat that much. When I'm thinking of that backfield, I'm thinking 70-30 split.
Yeah.
Because James Robinson couldn't beat out Michael Carter when Breece Hall went down. So
facts.
Ramondre, I think he finished RB8 last year, and he's kind of trending towards like back end of the second, third round. He's someone who I'm targeting if the price is right. 7 to be there all night.
Exactly.
So, winner that I had was it was Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny.
Okay, talk about it
for DeAndre Swift, and I get the move, because neither one of them can stay healthy. But after day one, I was like, after day two, because I think the Swift trade came on day 3. After day 2, I was like, oh my gosh, if this guy can stay healthy behind that offensive line, he's gonna eat. So then he was my favorite, and then the news broke that they traded for Swift. And he's got to be one of the biggest losers because he's probably not going to stay healthy. I mean, it was just wishful thinking. But with the Swift signing, oh my gosh, I don't want any part of that backfield whatsoever.
Now they did have a strong rotation of 3 running backs last year, even with Miles Sanders there. It was kind of a rough backfield to invest in anyway. And then you already know Jalen Hurts is he's gonna eat 6 to 10 touchdowns out of that backfield every single year as well. I couldn't agree more. On paper, it looks fantastic, especially because they are more of a running team than a passing team.
Yeah.
But with that same token, it's like it reminds me of how the Patriots backfield used to be. It's like there's going to be days that one person's going to pop off, and you're going to have the wrong person starting. So for fantasy purposes, that's rough.
Yeah, I gotta avoid the backfield. A lot of people are big on Swift. I love his talent when he's healthy, but he's never healthy. And a lot of people are like, "Well, the offense is different, the O-line, the weapons around him." But we saw Jamal Williams break Barry Sanders' single season record for the Detroit Lions last year. What was the issue for him? So I want to believe in Swift. But I think I'm just going to stay away from that backfield altogether.
Couldn't agree more.
Do you have a winner or loser for the draft?
You talking about for the entire draft or another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any winner or loser or a trade that went down that you liked that we could talk about the Aaron Rodgers trade. I don't think we got a chance to tackle that.
Before we go on to that one, I wanted to talk one more loser on my end. I feel it's a double loser in this fact. Drake London and Kyle Pitts. The fact that Atlanta didn't secure a quarterback, and the fact that they're going into the season right now with Damian Ritter starting after seeing his piss poor performances towards the end of last season is ridiculous. And the fact that now you've invested a top 10 pick in a running back, he's going to get the football. They're changing the style of offense that they're going to run. And hell, last year with a more wide open offense, Pitts couldn't get the ball.
Right.
So I'm wondering, if they're going to run the ball more now, what's going to happen now?
Right.
Shit. So I'm fearful for both of their productions. I do feel like both of them are immensely talented, and I feel like in the right situation, they could pop off. But right now, they don't have anything at the quarterback position. They're running back. They're not their running backs, but their O-line is piss poor. They've invested a lot in the defense. Their defense is going to be significantly better this year. But without an offensive line and without a quarterback, I hope and pray for their production. But I feel like last year, where they were drafted last year, both of them are going to see a significant fall from Pitts as well as from Drake London from where they're drafted this year.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Another loser for me, David Montgomery.
Oh,
You signed a 3-year deal. Swift, you're going to get opportunity because Swift can't stay healthy. And, you hear that there's a star running back, a stud running back in the draft. And the Detroit Lions draft a running back, but they don't get the stud. I just you get the second back off the board in the top 12?
Yeah. I feel like everyone was stunned. Everyone was stunned.
Oh.
Now, this is no shade on Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs he's a Kirkland brand Alvin Kamara. He might even be faster than Alvin Kamara. He's talented.
Yeah.
But at that pick, I don't know. If you wanted to take Gibbs, why not trade back? Why not trade back, get a pick in the 20s, early 20s, pick Gibbs and use that draft capital for something else? It's not like the Lions are a perfect team. They still have, pieces that they need. I don't get the need to take him at 12.
No.
It just don't make sense.
No, they could have taken the kid from UCLA in the second round.
Yeah.
And that would have been okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
They could have gotten the kid that Pittsburgh traded up for at 12 and put him on opposite of is it Penei Sewell?
Yeah, Penei Sewell. I don't know shit. Instead of worrying about picking up a first round running back, how about teaching your players not to gamble on NFL games and getting half your team suspended?
That part.
My goodness, bro.
Right.
Jameson Williams misses half the season last year with an injury and now about to miss half the season again with, for gambling.
Right. And they moved up to take him.
Yeah. He's talented though, man. My goodness. But I guess it's going to be wait and see again this year.
Right. What are your thoughts on a Aaron Rodgers signing or the Aaron Rodgers signing?
I love it. I love it for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I love it for their fan base. I do. The only thing that's questionable for the New York Jets right now is, does Aaron Rodgers have the offensive line for him to be productive? The defense is there. Mm-hmm. The running backs are there. The receiving core is there. It might even be too much there. They're gonna be fighting, scratching, and clawing over who's gonna get the football. But the talent is there. I just wonder because the Mekhi Becton, the left tackle, he can't stay healthy. He can't say he's been hurt 2 years in a row now.
Right.
Vera Tucker was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Their center was hurt last year. So I wonder, even though Green Bay had a lot of injuries too, Bakhtiari had injuries as well. They've always invested in the big nasties. They've always had backup big nasties that are able to be competent. Right. I feel like part of the evaluation that people didn't really talk about with Zach Wilson was the fact that some of the reasons why he was not immensely productive was because of that offensive line. There's a big difference between mauling blockers that can block in the run game and people with finesse who can actually block for you in the pass game. And I felt all last year he wasn't given the time to really go through his progressions and reads. But again, I didn't watch too many Jet games. It's just from what I could see from small sample size. But I'm worried if he's going to have that production, because I feel like he could be able to pop off to what he did a couple years ago if that offensive line is correct.
I love the move. I love it for Breece Hall because it looked like he started to come into his own and figure out and adjust before that injury. And that was with, as you mentioned, a depleted O-line. A healthy O-line and a competent quarterback that can extend drives and give the defense breaks, keeps games close, so he's still a factor and it's not a passing game. Mm-hmm. I love Breece Hall in the second round, and I feel comfortable taking a receiver maybe mid-second, maybe a Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill at 8, 9, 10, and taking Breece Hall as my RB1 with Aaron Rodgers there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What do you think about the AFC this year? I feel like there's so many more competent teams and so many talented teams. Hell, your division in particular, AFC North. I feel like who knows who's going to actually come out of that division. Like I know that you don't really follow the draft too much, but you guys had a hell of a draft, man. You guys had bravo.
Probably the best draft in the AFC.
Bravo. Yeah, you guys fantastic. Broderick Jones, that's solidified that left tackle for the next 10 years, as long as he doesn't get hurt. I even
Porter
found
Jr. Flip Claypool for Porter Jr.
For real. Hey, Porter Jr. can get a little handsy, but he's still immensely talented.
Right.
And
it addresses a need.
Yeah. And then with Darnell Washington, he's going to be like having a third tackle out there blocking for you guys, which means Najee Harris. Najee could probably see a resurgence this year in the run game. I'm just so shocked by how much talent there is in the AFC now that I feel like we're going to see so many tight games in the AFC and a lot of blowouts in the NFC. I feel like there's going to be haves and have-nots in the NFC. And
you're probably got your big three, your Philly, San Francisco, Seattle.
Yeah.
Those are ones. And then in the AFC, I mean, I think the Chiefs maybe just a tier above everyone else. And then it's, I mean, any given Sunday, it could be Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, anyone from the AFC East, Miami, New England, Buffalo, the Jets.
Oof,
Remember they used to say the NFC least? That's the AFC beast.
For real.
We could see 4 teams out of one conference make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Patriots. Yeah,
definitely 3. Wow. But it's going to be crazy. I'm just I'm excited because a lot of, especially on offensive, a lot of teams have beefed up. A lot of teams have, they're trying to build around that foundation. Hey, if you can't beat them, join them. They can't beat the Chiefs by, you got to outscore the Chiefs. So they're trying to beef up, get more talented offensively. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's gonna be a hell of an NFL season.
For sure. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. I'm 7 o'clock, accompanied by my brother from another mother, Brother Fox.
Sir.
I thought I laid it up there for you. I thought you was about to yam it. Hey, it's the off season. That's why we're.
Hey, it is. It's off season. It's off season.
It's just OTAs.
Hey, we appreciate all you guys coming through as always.
Make sure you guys hit the like button. Shout out to the Fantasy Shot Callers. Shout out to the Melon app. See you guys next Tuesday with another mock draft. Peace.
Go Chiefs.